Good afternoon and welcome to Cab Village. Please introduce yourself to our audience and tell us why you're running for Orange County Commissioner in District 7. What inspired you to enter this race and what are the main pillars of your campaign?
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Beryl Thompson-McClary, and I have been an attorney here in Central Florida for more than 35 years. I am a mother of 7. I actually live in the district. And what has propelled me to do this after all of these years is that I saw a need and I wanted to meet that need. After traveling a bit, and I decided to ride the streets up and down the streets of Pine Hills and Maitland and College Park or La Vista. I noticed there was a distinctive difference between John Young Parkway going toward Apopka Vineland Road. I was concerned by the litter and by the proliferation of homeless persons. That wasn't the case many years ago when I became a resident of Orlando during those years. My sister was living there in Pine Hills in the 80s. I went to the county commissioner's office, and at that time, Pine Hills was divided into District 2 and District 6. And I went to voice my concerns about what I saw. One person indicated that they had gotten such complaints, but they were working on it. That's an interesting response versus telling me that you would send code enforcement out or something similar as we do in private business. I am in private business, so I do understand that those responses in keeping our customers satisfied and serving. Then I went to District 2 where I was located, and the response I got from the aide as I indicated, I told the same story, and the response was, they looked at some papers and told me, you can join this committee and you can pick up the trash yourself. I found that to be a very interesting response when we were in the office of servers. My first question was, if I was coming from Maitland and College Park, would you have given me the same response? As a defense attorney, which I am a civil attorney litigator and that of criminal, immediately I looked at the evidence and I knew that there was a disparity in which the areas were viewed. I then started looking at budgets to determine where was the funding coming and was there an equitable, not equal distribution of the $8.3 billion that were assessed through our Orange County commissioners. And with that being said, I looked at the line items and I said, there needs to be help, that some areas need to be defended.
Many residents may not fully understand the responsibilities of County Commissioner. Can you explain what the role entails and how the decisions made by the County Commission directly affects the daily lives of District 7 residents?
Certainly. And we must talk about that the pillars of my campaign involve infrastructure, safety, attainable housing, and working along with partnerships. With that being said, the Orange County Commissioner's Office has a budget of $8.3 billion in their budget. The commissioners oversee that budget and how that is distributed. The Orange County Commissioner's Office acts as a legislative and an executive branch when it comes to local rules and local laws. With that, they determine what's approved and what's not approved. They determine which area gets their fair share of resources. They also are over our local rules and ordinances. And as such, they're a very important part of how the administration of services are implemented here in Orange County.
You have handled more than 3 decades of experience as an attorney and have handled hundreds of jury trials. How has your legal background prepared you to serve as an effective county commissioner?
My skills are analyzing complex issues because this is what we do. Negotiating difficult disputes, managing high stake cases, helping people find practical solutions under pressure. This is what I do on a daily basis. These are the same skills that are necessary to be an effective commissioner in light of the persons and entities and corporations in which we deal with during the course of our commission meetings.
One of your campaign priorities is ensuring that infrastructure keeps pace with Orange County's rapid growth. What specific improvements would you advocate for to address traffic, road conditions, drainage, and responsible development in District 7?
Yes, I do advocate responsible development. That is, when a new development is created, that developer should be responsible for the renovation of those pipes and sewers and that infrastructure that they will impact. This should not be placed upon the citizens of that area. I would start with better planning before something is done. Responsible growth is what we're looking at as it comes to the new ones, as to the old ones, based on what we have seen, that we would ask that they start those changes in the infrastructure before they start to improve or put new buildings on. I would also have the traffic lights, our traffic signals synchronized. I would improve sidewalks so that the elderly, or those who are on bicycles, those who are walking, will not get injured, making sure our pedestrian crossings are safe, and making sure that we have strategic improvements that would reduce congestion. One of the things that we are primarily concerned with here in our area is flooding. As late as June 8th and June 10th, there was a influx of rains for a short period of time. And there on 50 between Mercy Drive and Ewing, the waters immediately rose to the doors of the vehicles there. Those are things that need to be taken care of. The issue that I have found as I have traveled throughout the district, speaking to the persons thereof, they're all concerned about flooding.
Public safety is another key focus of your campaign. How would you strengthen partnerships between the county, law enforcement, and community organizations to create safer neighborhoods while also building trust within the community?
Certainly, we must have a dialogue that each entity would understand their rules, their policies, what they're looking for. Hopefully, with that conversation and dialogue, we can reach some understanding that we can have effective police enforcement, also effective uh, as far as if you're older, feeling safe in the area, and for our young people, that they can go on with their lives without being fearful that they may be arrested or harassed, understanding each person's point of view and being able to navigate between the different persons and where they stand. So I believe that conversations lead to understanding, genuine conversations. Thank you for asking.
You've emphasized expanding opportunities for youth while improving service for seniors. What programs or initiatives would you prioritize to better support both generations in District 7?
I think that's one question. I was becoming certified as an AI consultant, so I'm a firm believer in technology, and I would allow the youth present opportunities where they can develop their skills and perhaps even make money from their skills with the new technology in AI and all of the opportunities business-wise that it allows. I, I would have after-school programs, workforce opportunities, and it would also give them an opportunity to earn monies as they are mentored in these positions. As to the seniors, I think the Multicultural Center and other centers, we should focus on them getting involved with the AI movement. It would be wonderful if the young people could share in and teaching those who are seniors that. At the same time, the seniors should be able to, or would be able to offer seminars as to practical living for the young people in light of all the stresses that they have. Also would have wellness programs and races. I've always enjoyed running 13.1 miles or whatever it is. I am an advocate of good health It also is an opportunity to bond both with the youth and for the elderly as we get involved with wellness.
Orange County continues to experience significant residential and commercial growth. How would you balance economic development with preserving existing neighborhoods and maintaining residents' quality of life?
I don't think the two are juxtaposed to each other, but in the planning and in the growth, it is imperative upon the developers to look at the situation as far as keeping intact the quaintness of the area. Let's take whether it's College Park. There can be growth, but growth without changing the tenure of the neighborhood that they cherish. Let's look at Maitland. They have a wonderful opportunity. They have wonderful conditions there that they want to preserve, but they do understand that their growth is necessary because of the increase in traffic. With that being said, there has to be plans that would align with the lifestyle of the residents as well as with growth. And I just think that takes more planning and more ingenuity. In other areas, such as Pine Hills, Ola Vista, Eatonville, that growth is welcome because with growth comes jobs and opportunities and also with housing. But again, that growth should be monitored to make sure that the impact is not negative upon the citizens there. But we do recognize it is necessary.
Your campaign highlights honesty, transparency, and responsible leadership. If elected, what steps would you take to ensure residents have a stronger voice in county government and greater transparency in decision making?
It's a great question. I think the first thing we can start off with, I believe a servant, as I would be a servant in District 7, should first of all listen. What do the residents want? And this is even though they are in different areas with different needs. So I would have more listening avenues to find out what do they want and have their voices heard. As in any case, you have to listen to your client before decisions are made. There are times when decisions are tough because we're not the only district. There would be a total of 8 representatives. And we would have to have negotiations. Would have to have collaborations in order to keep it moving and also to form relationships that would effectuate our causes and theirs too. So as far as transparency, I feel like we should use social media, have social media campaigns, an opportunity when we have social media lives where we can explain what's happening. Many times I feel that our constituents or the persons of that area don't understand the machinations of what's happening. And if you broke it down and cause them to understand this is why this has happened, this is why this is not happening, determining which parts of the cycle actually comes from Tallahassee before it gets to the local level, understanding where the powers are, where the divisions are, the influence are. And I feel like with that education, whether it's by way of social media and having lives, whether it is having actual meetups with the homeowners association, with the seniors or with the students, that would cause enlightenment. And I am willing to open up myself to have communications in whatever form that is beneficial for that area, that they will become enlightened, that they will understand as much as they can the full story as to these are the decisions, these are the facts. Ask me questions so that you can understand. And whatever medium or whatever forum there is, we would avail ourselves.
District 7 is one of the most diverse communities in Orange County and has a wide range of needs. What do you believe are the district's greatest challenges today, and how would you work to address them during your first term?
I think one of the first needs is infrastructure. The infrastructure that keeps up with growth and with attainable housing. I have spoken to the residents, and interestingly enough, they have found that one of their challenges actually speaking to the people is that there hasn't been enough done to at least keep the area pretty and beautiful. It was interesting to have the clutter be dispersed and properly taken care of. And why are we saying that? Because there are contracts that are given by the county for pickup and delivery. But many people say, why doesn't our area look as pretty and as nice? Because investors are drawn toward beautification and they desire to have investors in the area. And I thought that was interesting to note. The first thing was not expanding the roads, but was for a better looking Pine Hills, Orla Vista, Lockhart was their first. Secondly, that came up in many places, all the places, was the issue of flooding. All of the municipalities that are within District 7 and those incorporated areas are talking, have spoken to me about the flooding in their areas. And most notably in some of the other areas where the federal government had given money many years ago to deal with this, their question was, why did it take a 5-year study? Why isn't there equal execution in rectifying these situations? I feel like it is my job to make sure that when there is a concern, that there is execution and that there are measurable results within a reasonable time for our constituents. So those were the things that were brought to me first of all. And that was, I said, the flooding, environmental concerns, beautification of their area to be equal to that of the other areas.
As voters prepare to cast their ballots, what distinguishes you from the other candidates in this competitive District 7 race? And what message would you like to leave with the residents you hope to represent?
What distinguishes me is my experience. My experience as a lawyer, because I feel like there are certain skill sets that are necessary in dealing with large corporations. It deals with policies, procedures, understanding those things. And I don't believe that we're at the point where we should have long periods of on-the-job training. And my job is to understand policies and procedures because that is what I do, as well as the experience in executive decision making. I was president of the Links for a number of years, as well as I'm a business person. So when I look at a situation, I look at it from a business point of view. What are the measurable results? Where is the money going? And as a result, what do we get from that? I also understand equity. Equity does not necessarily mean equal distribution, but where are the needs and has that been met? With my experience also living in the area, I understand the needs of families. I solve problems for families. I solve problems for business persons. I solve problems for complexities. People come to me with a problem. Here, we have many problems. I have the experience in addressing those things with a multiplicity of eyewear because I've actually lived it and walked it. I have a heart for the entire area, and I believe that because of my vast experience, my vast exposure as a mother of 7, someone who lives in the area, as a businesswoman, as an attorney with extensive experience in many, many areas, that at this time and at this hour, I am the right person. I am the right leader for this position.
We thank you for taking the time to speak with us at Cow Village, and we wish you the best of luck.